I'm gonna let a few people come in before we get started. My face is a little greasy because I was working out this morning. Let me take my hair down. I don't really like when it's like that. Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start. So, the title of this video is The Matrix is Playing Out in Our Lives Daily. We know this, right? Or maybe some of us don't. How is it playing out in our lives daily? So, I had a kind of heated conversation with someone, but they were right about certain things that they were saying. Every day, your little habits are equaling up to your bigger habits or equaling up to your growth on where you want to be and where you want to see yourself in 5 or 2 to 1 years, right? So, how the Matrix, I feel, is adding up or playing a role in your life every day is by your habits. And so, like you could choose in the morning, I'm going to eat this big waffle with a bunch of syrup, and I'm going to then watch the news, talk about, the worst crimes or whatever while I eat this waffle. And then after that, I'm going to go smoke a joint, right? You know, in the span of within 3 hours, you have chosen a pill, the red pill or the blue pill. Now, it definitely could be all about perspective as well, because maybe you haven't had a waffle in a really long time, and today's your cheat day, your cheat morning day, right? And you decide to eat your waffle today because you've been eating so clean all week. So you decided to eat a waffle with the delicious syrup. Hello, everyone. But you typically don't watch the news, so you decide to put the news on. And then you haven't smoked in a while, so you decide to smoke today. But what I ask you is that, do you really need those things? Do you really need that big waffle with a whole bunch of syrup? Do you really need to indulge in what the news is broadcasting today? Because 9 times out of 10, yes, the news is pretty much broadcasted on every app that we're on. It's like you can't escape it. No matter what, you're going to usually be up to date with most things, right? But why am I saying that everything is red pill or blue pill is that, you are deciding after those 3 hours what you're putting your focus on. It's all about focus. So while you indulge in your sweet treat in the morning to, build up insulin, and it's not to shame you, it's okay when you're doing it like, once in a blue moon as a treat for yourself. But when it's an everyday thing, you're now harming your body. So what pill have you chose? The red pill or the blue pill? You've chosen blue. You've chosen red, right? Red's the bad pill or whatever. So you've chosen red in the morning, but maybe you're going to switch to a blue pill. You're going to decide to read your book that you've been waiting to read for a long time, right? So you decide to read your book. This is a book that I'm interested in right now. It's called, that was upside down. It's called Aha! 10 Ways to Free Your Creative Spirit and Find Your Great Ideas. So, okay, you're going to make up for taking the red pill this morning. Yeah, because you took the red pill, the pill is still being digested in your body. So that pill is still going to, do the consequences of taking that red pill. Don't forget, it's still going to trickle down into what you chose to do, right? But maybe the next hour you're going to decide to read, right? You decide to read, you take a blue pill. So you read for an hour, and then the book inspires you to start creating something. So then you took another blue pill. So now you got at least 2 blue pills in the span of 5 hours, right? So you took one red pill in the morning, you ate a big waffle with syrup, and you watched some crime in the morning, and you smoked a joint, right? So you did take one red pill. That red pill is being digested. It is going to do what it's going to do to your body. The consequences of that red pill is still going to do what it needs to do to digest and spread out through your body. So now you're playing a game with yourself for the day. How many red pills are you going to take? How many blue pills are you going to take, right? So, like I said, then the next hour you took a blue pill. You decided to read a book. Then the book inspired you to pick up something. The book inspired you to be creative. The book inspired you to draw. The book inspired you to do a live right now. The book inspired you to start your business, maybe, or start researching how to start a business. Or the book inspired you to just do something creator-wise, right? So now you took 2 blue pills. So those 2 blue pills you've digested for the day are going to trickle out and do something within internal and external as well. Even though the results don't seem like they're happening right now, they are happening. They're manifesting. Because the same way as, Big Back Nanisha or Big Back Tony didn't think that if they ate, 10 waffles a day when they were skinny, and they kept doing it for like 2 months, and they thought it wasn't doing anything to their body, all of a sudden month 5 they put on like 50 pounds. It's the same concept. You think the pill that you're taking isn't doing anything. When you take when you take a painkiller pill, at first you're still in pain. Then you take it, obviously, and then suddenly, like within an hour, the pain is gone, right? The results aren't being seen, but you knew you took it, and it's about to do, it's about to do something within you, right? And then it does. All of a sudden, something changes. You don't feel pain no more. You feel like you can move around again. You feel like you feel free again, right? Right. So, you take one red pill in the morning, then you took 2 blue pills. Okay, what are you gonna do now? Oh, you decided, okay, after I finish my project, I feel like smoking a joint again. And I feel like, drinking some beer. You smoke a joint again, you drink some beer at the same time, you kind of crossfaded, but you're feeling good, right? No, you done took another red pill. You actually double it up. You took 2 red pills, right? And don't get me wrong, I don't think smoking is the worst thing. I think it becomes the worst when you have abused its power, right? And so let's not count maybe smoking as a red pill, because maybe you only did it you only do it once in a blue moon. But reminder, in this story passage, I said you already did it in the morning. So really, why do you need to do it again? Let's make that time more productive. Maybe after you had did some research on how to start your own business or whatever creative endeavor that you decided to do that day, you decided to go for a walk instead of smoking. Because really, it's like you feel like you need to do something. You need to do something. When you're smoking, you feel like you're doing something. You feel like you're being productive, but you really aren't. Because 9 times out of 10, when they're smoking, they're just scrolling on their phone to find something to entertain themselves while they're smoking. Most people don't go for walks. while they smoke. Most people aren't going to take a hike at the same time while they're smoking. What do? They go sit in their garages and they smoke. They go sit in their car and they smoke. They go sit somewhere sitting down and they just smoke. But reminder, in this story, you decided to smoke a joint and you're drinking a glass of beer, right? So you took 2 red pills. So those 2 red pills are going to trickle down into your day. Those pills are being digested and they're going to cause an effect very soon. So now you start feeling sluggish, you know. You start feeling kind of sluggish, you want to take a nap. You take a nap, right? Okay, napping's good. You need some sleep. You know, it's your day off anyways. You took a nap. You napped for like 3 hours, right? You wake up and you decide to smoke again. Because why not? I mean, it's your day off, right? You took another red pill. So in the span of the day, you took red pill in the morning, 2 blue pills, 2 more red pills, then another red pill. Your red pills are outweighing your blue pills, so it kind of just somewhat dissolved the results of your blue pills. So now your body subconsciously wants more red pills because you've programmed it to want more red pills. You programmed it to think, I enjoy more red pill things instead of the blue pill. You only took 2 blue pills out of 4 red pills for the day. But it's okay, you know, tomorrow's a new day, right? So tomorrow you start to but when you're waking up, you kind of introspect on what you did the day before. You're like, you know, I ate some really big waffles the other day. And, you know, maybe this morning I'm going to eat some spinach and an egg. So you eat some spinach and an egg, right? Then you're like, instead of watching the news, I'm going to listen to this podcast about how to change my mind, right? So you watch a podcast on how to change your mind. So in that podcast, they're feeding you, and you're feeding yourself because this morning, instead of eating a waffle or instead of eating something processed, you decided to eat spinach and an egg. So far you've taken 2 blue pills. You started your day off with 2 blue pills. Those blue pills are going to digest and they are going to result to something. The outcome of those blue pills are going to happen. They just don't seem like they're happening, but they are happening. They are playing a role. They are playing an effect. Then after you listen to the podcast while you're eating your spinach and your egg, and it motivates you to really lock into changing your mind on things. Really thinking that, you know, I can be whatever I want to be. I can become anything I want to become. It might not be easy, and especially might be more of a rising activity for me because I'm in a position that doesn't seem like it's going to be as easy as other people who are more privileged, right? But, you know, a lot of the greats weren't as privileged. And, you know, a lot of those old artworks, a lot of them, you know, had halos. They had that circle drawn behind them, or they had like a halo. How do you gain a halo? It's like an honor. It's like a crown. You have fallen and you've gotten back up and you've became an angel to gain the halo. You have fallen through Saturn. Because if you look at Saturn, if you do some research on Saturn and what Saturn looks like and what's going on Saturn, Saturn is one heck of a planet, right? It's a very scary sounding planet. It has a whole bunch of storms. It has the black cube. It's really chaotic and it's absorbing things around it into its rings, right? It's very chaotic. And so it's like when you gain your halo, you have conquered the chaos. You have fallen, you have gone to Saturn, and you have risen above Saturn. So you have gained the halo, the same halo that Saturn also has. You've gone through the chaos. You've overcame it. Overcame things other people could not overcome if they were in your shoes. I'm here to remind you that I know sometimes people might be around you and they might make you feel like what you've overcome was nothing. What you've overcome was like, oh, anybody could do that. But no, not everybody could do what you were capable of doing, what you were capable of overcoming. So continue to overcome things because that's why you're here. Life is about overcoming. So, how many pills will you take today? Will you take 5 red pills? Remember, they're going to digest and they will result to something. Just like the painkillers. The painkillers don't seem like they're going to work the first time you ingest it, but they end up making the pain go away within 2 to 3 hours, right? It's going to do something. It's going to do something. The same way as the skinny person who thought that if I eat 2 Big Back burgers every day for 4 months, they thought, oh, I'm going to be skinny for forever because the first 2 months, nothing was happening, right? No, within that 3rd month, they started noticing a change because something is always happening. Something is always happening. So, reminder, how many red pills will you take today? How many blue pills will you take today? They're going to result in something. Okay. That's all I wanted to talk about. Because even me talking about this is motivating myself. I'm really motivating myself. I'm reminding myself of how many pills will I take today, of what particular color, and what do I want the end result to be when they digest. Peace.